Aquarius, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements because you could have messages in those readings as well. And if you're looking for a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description below, or you can feel free to just send an email to me and we can set that up for you. Okay, my friends, let's get started. For Aquarius, what is the current energy around Aquarius for the week ahead? Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What's the current energy around Aquarius? Okay, Aquarius. You got two cards here. Let's see. Don't let your past hold you back, and adjustments are required. Adjustments are required just came through for Capricorn as well. That's always interesting when that happens. Okay, so we see don't let your past hold you back and make some adjustments. Okay, so Aquarius, the bottom of the deck says nothing will come of this situation. So I feel like that might be the energy you're holding on to when you think about the past. You might be thinking, nothing will come of this because nothing came of it once before, or anytime I try something like this, nothing changes, so forget it. And so it's almost like there's a defeated attitude or a defeated energy around this card and this idea of your past. So it makes me think that the way your past holds you back is that it convinces you that nothing will happen in whatever it is that you're working on, or whatever it is your goal is, or whatever it is that you desire. It's like you've convinced yourself, well, if it didn't happen, it never happens for me. I can hear you saying that. Like you're saying to yourself, you know, it's always hard for me to do this, or this never works out for me. And then you've got all this evidence from the past to say, well, it didn't work out here, it didn't work out here, it didn't work out then, it didn't work out at this. And that's where you need to make adjustments. I think you need to make adjustments when it comes to your belief about whether or not things will happen for you. And get rid of always and never. Unless you're going to say things are always working out for me. Then you can use always. But you know what I mean? Like, stay away from these blanket statements that say, it's always difficult for me in this area, or I never find success in this area. Believe differently. Start to release the past and all that evidence you've been hanging on to. Because I always feel like Aquarius is one of those air signs that remembers everything that has happened. You know, like they can be like, I remember on March 6th in 1992 when you said to me, la 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 la, and then I didn't call you on it, but I'm going to call you. You know what I mean? Like Aquarius always remembers these things. And that might be part of where you need to make some adjustments. You have to release these past moments that keep coming up as evidence for you for the future. The past only predicts the future if you believe so. So shift that. Make an adjustment there and see what happens. You know what I mean? Let's jump into the tarot cards and see what messages will come through for Aquarius in terms of making adjustments here about your beliefs and how much you rely on the past as evidence for what's going to happen in the future. Yeah, there's the Seven of Pentacles, of course, because you're about to call it. You're about to call it. You're about to give up on something too soon. You're at a 7, so you're at a choice point. And I feel like you need to make adjustments as to how you're evaluating what to do next, because it's almost like you're saying, well, those crops are never going to grow. I planted them and nothing's happening. And it's like, well, they're growing underground. Just because you can't see the evidence of that yet doesn't mean that they're not going to peek up through the surface of the soil soon. And that is, there's a limited belief around what to do next. And there's the Emperor. So I feel like you're being guided to have this like super confidence about the path ahead, and to not base the path ahead on the path behind you. You know what I mean? To make that conscious choice to say, I'm going to choose based on what I believe is my highest good. And I'm not going to make that evaluation based on what has happened in the past, because I feel like that's where there's a limit here. And I think you're being guided to really take the lead on something. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I was saying you're being guided to take the lead on something, and look what cards you got. The Ace of Cups and the Lovers. So are you ever being guided to take the lead on something, Aquarius? You know, I love reading for Aquarius. You always get the most interesting readings. And they're always, to me, about love. I mean, I love that for you, Aquarius. But this is very interesting. You may be giving up on something that you're actually being guided to take the lead on, and make the first move. Make your move here, Aquarius. Because I feel like the only thing holding you back right now is your past. You may want to, again, I feel like you've had this reading from me before, Aquarius, where you want to make a connection with someone from your past, and you feel like nothing will come of this situation, but maybe it will if you make some adjustments. Like, you know, it didn't work out in the past, maybe because of certain circumstances. There may have been certain circumstances in the past that now will be different because of adjustments, or different now because it's been so, maybe some time has passed and it has changed things. It feels to me like, bottom of the deck, we're seeing the Hanged Man, that you just need to see things from a different perspective. You may need to just see things from a different perspective, and you may need to make some adjustments from how you did things in the past if you want this to move forward in the present. Because I feel like you're being guided to make choices in a more authentic way, in a way that reveals who you are authentically. And that might have been what was going on in the past. In the past, you may have held back who you were, and you may have been sort of in a different space where you weren't able to take the lead on something in a way that allowed you to be open. You know, you may have been kind of closed off, but seeing this Ace of Cups tells me that something has transformed. You know, the lotus has come up through the mud, and now your cup overflows with offerings, and you want to give. You're wanting to give of yourself, and I think you're wanting to give of yourself in a way that's very authentic. You're making a different set of choices. This Lovers card is really about choices. This is Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and they're making choices, right? When you look at the Devil card, you see the same couple, but they're making different choices. So what's guiding your choices here? God or the devil, right? You can think of it that way, or you can think of it as sort of authenticity or the shadow, the light or the dark. Like, where are you coming from here? Perhaps there was something in the past that kept you unable to sort of be authentic. And now you're looking at things from a different perspective because you've had time to recover and you've had time to process the past. And now you're willing to make adjustments. And you're willing to take the lead on something that I think you may have been expecting maybe someone else to take the lead, or maybe you were expecting things to happen in a different timeline, timing wise, you know. And I just feel like your energy now is at a place where it could go either way. But really all that needs to happen is some adjustments. That your belief that nothing will happen in this situation, you might need to make some adjustments to that belief and take the lead. Take the lead and see what happens. But be willing to look at things from a different perspective than you did in the past. Because this really feels like a past situation coming back again, that you want it to come back. But look at, as I cut the deck on this surrender deck, we see surrender to setting limits. And we see surrender to trust, which are two very interesting messages. If you're trying to make adjustments in a situation that you experienced once already in the past, and you're wanting to make adjustments so that the outcome will be more in balance and authentic, you might need to trust more, and you might need to set certain limits around things, like to have healthy boundaries and to take a step out of those boundaries. Look at that. Surrender procrastination and having a moment of silence here. Surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. And surrender procrastination says now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Take action and that will attract success. So I'm feeling the idea here that you need to do a bit of both. Like you need to make some adjustments by going into this quiet meditation that we saw in the Four of Swords as well. So that will help you make those adjustments so that your past doesn't hold you back. So that you're not using the same limited ideas that you did before. Right? Or releasing certain perceptions by taking a minute to recover, right? Then this idea of surrendering procrastinations is that's the Emperor card coming through saying take an action. Take an action. Do something. Take the lead and move forward towards whatever it is that you desire. And while you're at it, surrender the worry. Don't worry about it. Whatever happens, it will be a teacher for you in some way. It says here, make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body, focus on your power of your heart, and have faith that Spirit is always guiding you. And so it's interesting, this message here for you, Aquarius. I feel like by surrendering your worry, you're sort of releasing these swords that are hiding behind the Hanged Man. You're looking at things from a different perspective, and you're not going to send yourself into this place of worry, stress, frustration, and almost fear. Like this is a fear where it goes from being a worry to a fear, because you start to really talk yourself out of something here. And I feel like you just need to get distance from these limited beliefs and go for it. See what happens. You know, what's the worst that can happen? I think here is that you end up sort of healing something from the past. You don't have to think about it anymore. I mean, the other outcome is that it works out, which is wonderful. But I feel like the worst outcome possible here is that you find out that things haven't changed for the other person and that they're not interested in a new beginning. But that in and of itself sets you free, doesn't it? So I feel like you've gotten this reading from me before, and it's happening again. So something must have triggered this back into your space, or it's just, you know, it's almost like you're about to let it go in that Seven of Pentacles. You might be thinking, well, I'm going to let my past hold me back. You know, you might be at that place. And then this reading comes along and says, no, don't do that. Adjustments are required. It's not that nothing will come of this situation. You just need to make some adjustments. And you might need some time to recover fully in silence before you're able to enter something without feeling triggered, without feeling anxious, right? You just might need a minute with yourself before you do this. You might need to think about it a little bit more before you decide nothing will come of this situation. That could just be your past holding you back. A very interesting reading for you this week, Aquarius. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope this reading was helpful and offered you some guidance on your current situation. And I look forward to reading for you again soon, my friends. Take care, and I'm sending you so much love and light.